In a small town, there was a popular café called the Cozy Corner. Every Friday, many people visited after work. They chatted, laughed, and spent time together. For some, it was a place of joy and connection. But for Aiden, stepping into the Cozy Corner felt like walking into a room full of strangers. Aiden was kind and had many interests, but in big crowds, he felt shy and lost. He could see groups of friends having fun, but he felt outside looking in. The sound of laughter and conversation made him wish he could join in. Instead, he sat at a small table in the corner. He struggled to start a conversation. He only stirred his coffee, watching people interact around him. As he sat there, the atmosphere pressed down on him like a heavy weight. The smiles and chatter of others highlighted his loneliness. He felt the eyes of others glance at him, adding to his worry. He thought about how strange he must look, sitting alone while everyone else was with friends. The clock ticked loudly as minutes passed. Each tick made him feel more anxious. What if he opened his mouth and said something silly? What if no one wanted to talk? The fear of being judged made him feel even more isolated. Social pressure hung in the air like a thick fog. For Aiden, every glance from others felt like a challenge. He believed that everyone could see how nervous he was. He felt small and unsure in a place full of life. Each failed attempt to engage made him pull back further. His heart raced at the thought of saying something wrong. Should he speak up? What if he made a mistake? These thoughts made it even harder for him to join the fun around him. This scene is something many can understand. Everyone faces moments when social situations seem too big or too complex. It does not matter if it is a new job, a friend's party, or a casual meeting. People from all walks of life can relate to these feelings. Sometimes we laugh and it is easy to be happy with others. Other times we struggle to find our voice. This mix of emotions can happen to anyone. Recognizing this struggle is important. It shows how normal it is to face social anxiety. Many share similar experiences. They just don't talk about it. Every moment spent feeling unsure is a step towards becoming better at connecting with others. Improving social skills is a journey, one that helps build relationships. We all want to belong and be accepted. Social challenges are just part of being human. They invite us to grow and learn. As Aiden sits alone in the cozy corner, he does not yet know that he can change his story. By learning to face these social situations, he will find his place in the world. Every little step counts. In the cozy corner, Aiden sat alone, feeling out of place. Suddenly, a new person entered the cafe. Her name was Camila. Just like Aiden, Camila looked around nervously. She saw groups laughing and having fun. The bright lights and chatter made her heart race. Camila wanted to fit in, but she felt scared. She grabbed a coffee and searched for a place to sit. Seeing Aiden in the corner made her pause. Camila noticed how Aiden stirred his coffee, avoiding eye contact. She thought, "He looks just like me." Camila sat at a table near him, unsure if she should say hello. Memories of previous social events flashed through her mind. At a recent work party, she had tried to talk to people. Some conversations flowed easily, while others felt forced. Sometimes she felt ignored. In those moments, doubt crept in. What if I am not interesting? What if they do not want to talk to me? The memories tightened her stomach. She knew this moment at the cozy corner felt similar. She could sense the social pressure building around her. Each laugh echoed in the air, reminding her of her shyness. Camila wanted to be brave but felt small. She glanced at Aiden again. He seemed sad but kind. A part of her wanted to reach out to break the silence, but fear held her back. What if he did not want to talk? Despite her concerns, Camila took a deep breath and decided to try. She could be brave. She could connect with someone like Aiden. A little voice inside her whispered, "You can do this." Camila mustered her courage, smiled across the room, and waved gently to him. Aiden looked up, surprised. A smile appeared on his face too, but uncertainty remained. Neither of them knew how to start a conversation. As seconds passed, the cafe around them buzzed with energy, yet they felt frozen in time. Camila's heart raced, but she held on to hope. Maybe starting a friendship was worth the risk. She chose to believe in the possibility of connection, knowing many people felt like her. Everyone has moments of self-doubt and anxiety. Between sips of coffee, people search for comfort in unfamiliar spaces. In that moment, Camila decided to face her fears. She stood up and walked over to Aiden's table. "Hi, I'm Camila. Do you mind if I join you?" she asked with a warm smile. Aiden hesitated, surprised but also hopeful. Sure. I'm Aiden," he replied. It was a simple exchange, but it marked a shift. Just as Camila took that brave step, she felt a spark of excitement. Perhaps this was the start of a new friendship. In this moment, both Camila and Aiden faced their social struggles, but they also took control. Fear began to fade, replaced by the possibility of connection. In stepping out of their comfort zones, they learned that brave choices can lead to great things. Their stories are about more than just fear. They hold the promise of change and friendship. In the cozy corner, two people found a chance to grow together, as their journey to improved social skills had just begun. Days turned into weeks, and Camila and Aiden began to visit the cozy corner every week. They enjoyed their talks and felt comfortable around each other. However, as they grew closer, some challenges appeared. One day, Camila suggested they should invite more friends to join them. "It would be fun to meet new people," she said, her eyes bright and hopeful. Aiden agreed but felt a knot in his stomach. He had always been shy around groups. When they arrived at the café that Friday, a few friends from Camila's work joined them. Aiden felt nervous as he sat at the table. He kept his hands in his lap, wishing he could avoid attention. The conversation started easily, but soon it became hard for him to keep up. People discussed vacations and funny childhood stories. Camila and her friends laughed, but Aiden felt outside the circle. His mind raced. "What should I say? I hope they like me." As he attempted to speak, the words stumbled from his mouth. They didn't come out as he planned. "I like the beach too," he said awkwardly when one friend mentioned a trip to the coast. He wanted to share his experiences, but they did not flow easily. Camila noticed his struggle and gave him a kind smile, but this only added to his embarrassment. He could feel the warmth in his cheeks. Camila's laughter rang out, and Aiden felt a wave of insecurity. He thought, "I can't keep up with this." Despite his efforts to jump into the conversation, Aiden kept feeling lost. He began to withdraw into himself. The more he sat silently, the more he felt like a shadow at the table. "Why is it so hard?" he questioned himself as he shifted in his chair. Camila's friends continued to chat, moving from one topic to another. "Have you ever tried that new restaurant?" one of them asked, making everyone chime in. Aiden tried to think of something to say, but his mind went blank. Fear returned, clouding his thoughts. He felt like a knot in his throat. Suddenly, Camila turned to him, eager to include him. "Aiden, what do you think?" she asked. It was a kind gesture and he appreciated it. But instead of answering, all he could do was smile, feeling the pressure of attention. The moment felt heavy, and he struggled to find his voice. Everyone turned toward him, and his face grew hot. Camila sensed his discomfort but did not lose hope. She quickly shifted the topic back to their previous discussion, giving Aiden a little breathing room. But inside, he felt the weight of self-doubt grow larger. Every new laugh around the table made him feel smaller. Would he always struggle in social settings like this? As the night went on, Aiden felt the tension build within him. This experience at the café felt familiar yet more intense. He wanted to connect, but fear overshadowed his desire. Instead of feeling more included in the group, he drifted further away, trapped in his insecurities. Camila watched all of this happen. She sought a way to support him, but it was hard to see her friends struggle. The challenges they both faced felt real, making the journey ahead clearer. They both needed the courage to overcome these hurdles. Each small struggle took them one step closer to building the social skills they desired. The road wasn't easy, but they leaned on each other, hopeful for change and growth. The night at the cozy corner ended with a heavy silence for Aiden. While Camila chatted with her friends, Aiden felt stuck in his thoughts. He tried to smile, but the memory of feeling awkward and out of place weighed on him. That evening had been hard, and he felt disappointment inside. When he went home, he sat alone in his room. The laughter of his friends echoed in his mind, but he couldn't shake the feeling of failure. As he sat there, he thought about what happened. He wanted to connect and be more like others. While looking at his phone, he noticed a message from Camila. "Hey, don't worry. You're great," she wrote. Her words warmed his heart, but the feeling of doubt quickly returned. He stared at the wall, thinking about how he didn't speak much that evening. If only he could talk more comfortably during these gatherings, he wouldn't feel like this. The next day, Aiden met an old friend from college, Tom, at the park. Tom was lively and friendly, thrived on social interactions. They decided to sit on a bench and talk. While they shared stories about their lives, Tom noticed Aiden's downcast expression. "What's wrong, buddy?" he asked with care. Aiden explained how he felt uncomfortable in social situations. He told Tom about his experience at the cafe and how hard it was to fit in. Listening intently, Tom nodded. He then shared a story about his own struggles. "I used to feel that way too," he admitted. "At first, I felt lost in a crowd, but I wanted to change. I learned that practice helps a lot." Tom's words hit Aiden in a powerful way. It was the first time someone told him that he was not alone in these feelings. Tom went on to explain the importance of practice in social situations. "Most people have fears, but the more you engage, the easier it becomes," he encouraged. "Don't be afraid to speak up. Share your story. People want to listen." As Tom spoke, Aiden felt a light flicker inside. It was clear he had to change. Aiden realized he could not let fear hold him back anymore. Trembling yet determined, he said, "You're right. I need to try and not be afraid." For the first time, he felt hope. It was one thing to talk about wanting to change, but this moment stirred a deeper desire. Inspired by Tom's encouragement, Aiden pictured himself at the cozy corner once again. He imagined approaching Camila and her friends with confidence. "I can do this," he thought. The next time they gathered, he would not stay quiet. He would reach out, ask questions, and share stories. With his heart racing, Aiden made a decision. He committed himself to improving his social skills. This commitment was a turning point for him. "I can no longer hide," he confirmed to himself. "I will learn, practice, and connect with others." In that moment, the weight of self-doubt began to lift, giving way to determination. This clarity would guide him toward new possibilities and a path filled with hope. The journey to social success was just beginning for Aiden. Stepping beyond his fears would take time and effort, but he was ready. With newfound courage, he set forth to make changes, seeking the brighter days ahead. The turning point of his story was here, and Aiden was ready to embrace it. With renewed strength and determination, Aiden walked into the cozy corner one Friday evening. He felt different inside, ready to take action. Camila was already at their usual table, waiting with a warm smile. The cafe was busy, full of laughter and conversation. The familiar sounds felt less heavy than before. Aiden took a deep breath and reminded himself, "You can do this. It's time to practice." As he sat down, Camila greeted him with enthusiasm. "Hey, Aiden. I'm glad you made it." Aiden could feel the warmth in her voice, and it calmed him a little. He decided to start small. Instead of falling into discomfort, he focused on making eye contact. He looked directly at her and replied, "Thanks. I wouldn't miss it." His voice felt stronger than before, and he smiled back. During their chat, he practiced active listening. Camila mentioned her week at work, and instead of thinking about what to say next, Aiden really paid attention. He nodded and asked questions like, "What did you enjoy most?" This simple question opened the door for more discussion. Camila became animated as she talked about a new project. Aiden felt joy in her excitement. It was refreshing to see how engaging more fully made their conversation flow warmly. As their talk continued, Camila suggested they try reaching out to more friends. "How about we tell Sarah about our plan?" she asked eagerly. Sarah was another colleague, one whom they both liked. Aiden hesitated for a moment, but then a burst of courage led him to agree. "Sure, let's send her a message." He reached for his phone, feeling proud of taking this little step. When Sarah arrived, she brought a lively energy that filled the cafe. The three caught up on work, sharing laughs and stories. With each passing minute, Aiden's fears shrank. He made sure to maintain eye contact and join their jokes. Surprisingly, he found himself smiling and adding to their fun. This evening felt different. He was part of the group, not just a spectator. Suddenly, Sarah turned to him and asked, "Aiden, do you have any fun plans for the weekend?" Aiden paused, feeling butterflies but determined not to hide. He thought of the book he did not quite finish reading. With newfound confidence, he spoke. "I might start a new book." His voice felt steady. "What about you?" To his delight, their conversation sparked interest again. They talked about books, music, and hobbies, everybody sharing their favorite topics. Aiden aimed to listen more deeply, treating their words with respect. This small step was crucial. He realized that connecting with others felt great. As the night went on, the laughter and shared stories drew them closer. After this evening, Aiden knew he wanted to practice more. Through simple act of small talk and active listening, he discovered he could change his social experiences. The fears that once felt so big had less power over him now. Of course, he still needed to learn and grow, but he decided to stay hopeful and keep pushing forward. The journey to connection was not a race. It was a path they could all enjoy together. With each conversation, he felt braver. Tonight marked a turning point. Aiden stepped into his new self, eager to build the skills needed for happier interactions. His story was just beginning, filled with promise and connection. Falling action. After that wonderful night at the cozy corner, Aiden felt new energy inside. Each week following that evening brought more possibilities. He made a point to apply his newfound social skills. Making small talk became a part of his daily life. At work, he started conversations with his colleagues. Simple greetings turned into friendly chats about weekend plans or favorite movies. The more he spoke, the more confidence grew within him. Aiden celebrated each small win. One day, he approached Linda, a colleague he had never really talked to before. "Hi, Linda. How's your project going?" he asked warmly. To his surprise, she smiled widely and invited him to sit beside her. They talked easily, sharing ideas about work and home. The conversation flowed, and by the time they said goodbye, Aiden felt light. He had added another connection to his circle. Camila noticed his progress too. Over coffee at the cozy corner, she looked at him and said, "You seem different lately. You are more confident." Her words made him glow. Aiden thanked her for being a supportive friend. He realized how important it was to have people who believed in him. They shared stories and excitement about their week, and Aiden took a moment during their chat to reflect on how far he had come. At a gathering with other friends, Aiden took the lead in conversations. He felt comfortable asking questions and making eye contact. That warm smile returned as he listened. He discovered the more he engaged, the easier it became. Once filled with nerves, he now felt more authentic, sharing at his own pace. With each new friend, he learned something valuable. Everyone has a story worth hearing. Even when he faced bumps, like awkward silences, he no longer allowed fear to take over. Instead of backing away, he kept breathing. He reminded himself that mistakes were all part of learning. After one such moment, he laughed it off and moved on. Slowly, Aiden found great joy in being present with those around him, feeling the comfort of true connections. As he reflected, Aiden realized that these moments of practice defined his path. He felt grateful for each time he reached beyond his comfort zone. The thought of social situations once filled him with doubt, but now they sparked excitement. He saw himself changing, growing into someone willing to connect deeply. Through his journey, Aiden watched relationships blossom. Colleagues became friends. Familiar faces in the café became sources of warmth and laughter. With every new experience, self-love sparked. Encouraging thoughts like, "You can do this," helped him continue. Those words drove him to strive for better conversations, forming bonds that felt genuine. Aiden knew he was on a journey of transformation. With support from Camila and the changes he embraced, he started to feel in control of his social life. These improvements encouraged him to dream even bigger. What else can I learn? He wondered. The path of connections opened before him, lined with possibilities. Each step filled him with excitement for the future. As he left the cozy corner that evening, Aiden felt light and hopeful. His smiling face reflected the belief that change was possible for everyone. He learned that little efforts brought great rewards. If he could do this, others could too. Aiden continued to embrace his journey, ready for the next chapter. The power of transformation lay within each moment of connection. As Aiden continued his journey of confidence and connection, a new challenge arose at work. He noticed that his boss, Mr. Thompson, often spoke harshly to the team. Mr. Thompson criticized people in front of others, which made them uneasy. At first, Aiden did not know how to react. He felt nervous and wanted to avoid trouble. However, he also felt that a line had been crossed. One day, during a team meeting, Mr. Thompson raised his voice at Linda for a mistake she made. "This is unacceptable," he shouted. The sudden noise echoed in the room, and everyone looked down awkwardly. Aiden felt a tight knot in his stomach. He remembered how it felt to be weak, to let fear win, but this situation was different. He had been learning to stand up for himself and others, and now it was time to act. Taking a deep breath, Aiden raised his hand and spoke softly but firmly. "Mr. Thompson, I think we should be more supportive of each other. That would help us do better." His voice shook a little, but he held it steady. The room went silent. Colleagues exchanged glances, surprised that Aiden spoke up. The tension in the air was thick as everyone waited for Mr. Thompson to respond. For a moment, it seemed like he would ignore Aiden's words. Instead, Mr. Thompson looked at him, clearly irritated. "This is how we improve, Aiden. Tough love is necessary," he said dismissively. But Aiden had taken a step, and he wasn't going to back down. Camila, who sat near Aiden, quickly joined in. "I agree with Aiden. A nicer approach could really help the team feel better," she said, her voice ringing with support. Other team members nodded along, showing that they felt the same way. The room began to shift as others felt encouraged by Aiden and Camila's words. Feeling supported made Aiden braver. He realized that he could set boundaries not just for himself but for others too. That night, he reflected on his actions. Standing up to Mr. Thompson was not easy, but it felt necessary. He did not want to see others face bullying anymore. He envisioned a workplace where everyone felt valued. As days passed, Aiden continued to advocate for a better environment. Each time Mr. Thompson raised his voice in meetings, Aiden respectfully reminded him to be more constructive. Sometimes it was only a small comment, but it made a difference. At first, Mr. Thompson resisted this change, getting upset whenever Aiden spoke up. However, as more team members offered support, there was a growing shift in the atmosphere. Slowly, Mr. Thompson began to realize that his approach was damaging the team's morale. It took time, but he adjusted his tone. His responses became gentler and more supportive because he saw that many people preferred respect over fear. Aiden felt a sense of relief. Through that experience, he understood how boundaries make workplaces safer. Standing up didn't mean creating conflict. It meant encouraging everyone to be better. As support among the team grew, Aiden saw relationships develop between his colleagues. Respect filled the spaces only silence once occupied. His actions inspired others to be brave and unify their voices. Aiden learned that transformations required patience. The workplace had become a place of encouragement. While challenges remained, he felt empowered. Each step he took toward a better environment built a stronger mindset. With each challenge faced, the bond among them grew deeper. Aiden now knew his voice mattered, and so did the voices of those around him. This change marked an important step forward in his life journey. The changes in the office began to create a new energy among the team. As Aiden gained confidence, he felt more capable every day. One afternoon, a group of coworkers gathered to assign roles for an important project. They needed to work together to meet tight deadlines. As they discussed responsibilities, the group's tone was supportive, and everyone had a chance to speak. Aiden could feel a sense of expectation in the air. This project was critical, and several coworkers were nervous. Then, as discussions started, Linda turned to Aiden. "I think we should ask Aiden to lead the project. He really knows how to bring everyone together." Her remark took him by surprise. His heart raced. He was not used to being in a leadership role. Everyone in the room turned to him with smiles and nods of agreement. "I really think you would be great at it, Aiden," Camila chimed in, her warm encouragement lifting his spirits. Their support felt like a wave of confidence washing over him, and he could hardly believe it was happening. Taking a deep breath, Aiden stood tall and accepted the challenge. "Thank you. I will do my best to ensure we work as a team." At that moment, he realized how far he had come. Standing before his colleagues, he felt a sense of belonging and empowerment. This wasn't just about him anymore. It was about all of them succeeding together. With the team behind him, Aiden began to find ways to encourage everyone's voice during meetings. He made sure every person could share their ideas, assuring them that their contributions mattered. They began brainstorming together, mixing creativity and support. Small wins started to happen as they progressed. The team met deadlines and produced work that surprised everyone. As they reviewed tasks, Aiden praised others for their efforts, giving credit where it was due. Collaborative success filled the room with excitement, and the atmosphere felt like magic. In these moments of progress, Aiden learned that leadership was about lifting others. He understood that true leadership meant valuing each person on the team. Through this small but meaningful win, he felt solid in his growth. The task was not easy, but he faced it with courage. One day after a successful presentation, Aiden felt proud. He went home with a sense of accomplishment and peace. Outside the busy office, he found stillness. Taking a moment to reflect, he realized how important it was to celebrate these victories, no matter the size. Each win fueled his fire to continue improving. Aiden thought of his journey, standing up, embracing change, and supporting others. Every step he took was a piece of the path he wanted to create for himself. Change could be positive, and it didn't have to be scary. He felt a stronger mindset forming, allowing him to welcome challenges positively. To readers on a similar journey, Aiden wanted to share this: start small and believe in your voice. Every act of courage counts, and doing little things lead to big results. Stand up for yourself and others. Lead with kindness and support. Imagine where these steps can take you. The road ahead was bright for Aiden, and he felt ready for whatever challenge awaited him. He had built a foundation of strength and connection, assuring that each win would prepare him for new adventures. This growth formed a lasting impact, showing him the power of change within himself and those around him. Resolution. As the days passed, Aiden felt a remarkable shift in his life. The once uneasy feeling of stepping into the cozy corner transformed into a smile of excitement. Now, when he entered, he was greeted warmly not just by Camila but by many familiar faces. The café felt like a second home. Each visit gathered laughter and stories. Conversation flowed freely, weaving stronger bonds between friends and colleagues. At work, the atmosphere had changed greatly too. The team completed projects successfully and built a culture of encouragement and support. Aiden felt proud to be a part of it. His coworkers often came to him for input, and he enjoyed sharing his ideas. This sense of belonging felt incredible, filling him with confidence. No longer did he shy away from taking the lead. Instead, he welcomed challenges with an open heart. Extra evenings spent with Camila and their work friends solidified this growing community. Whether they were celebrating successes or simply enjoying casual evenings together, Aiden saw how important these relationships had become. Each conversation added a layer to his understanding of others, revealing shared experiences. Together, they collaborated in encouraging one another on various endeavors. Aiden found immense value in social skills. Simple acts like smiling, listening actively, and showing kindness made such a difference. He smiled even more easily, and his conversations sparked joy. The risks he took in speaking up transformed into fully realized connections. In his personal life, he sought deeper relationships too. Reconnecting with an old friend from school filled him with happiness. They spent time together, catching up, and reminiscing about fun memories. These moments filled Aiden with warmth, reminding him how rich friendships can be when built on mutual respect and understanding. When challenges arose, Aiden approached them with newfound strength. If a colleague seemed upset, he checked in with them, offering support. If someone needed help, he didn't hesitate to give assistance. He had learned that connection thrives in open communication. Reflecting on his transformation, Aiden realized how significant it was. He had started this journey feeling shy and anxious, unsure of how to connect. Now he was empowered, surrounded by friends and supportive peers. His efforts had altered sour moments into sweet opportunities. Realizing potential took time, but he stuck to it, discovering the beauty of working on oneself. The deepest feeling of growth came from within. As he interacted with others, Aiden recognized the strength of vulnerability. Opening up built trust. With this understanding, he started enjoying every conversation, every shared grin. He knew his actions made a difference, and that filled him with purpose. Each time Aiden walked into the cozy corner or his workplace, he stepped with pride. He knew every smile, every act of encouragement, and every word shared added value to his life. The power of him had transformed as he consistently practiced social skills with courage. Aiden glanced back at the journey he had taken. He was no longer just surviving social interactions. He thrived. As he moved toward future adventures, warmth filled his stride. Growth, connections, and confidence took their rightful place in his life. As he embraced his empowered social life, he stood ready to inspire others. Aiden understood that everyone has the capacity to evolve and connect meaningfully. All it takes is the courage to take the first step forward, and he was living proof of that. With a new glow of confidence, Aiden looked toward the future with excitement. As he sat in the cozy corner one sunny afternoon, sipping coffee with Camila, he thought about what was next for him. The friendships he had built supported his growth and filled his days with joy. It was time to put this new perspective into action. That week, an opportunity arose. His company announced a possible new project that needed a team leader. The project excited everyone, and Aiden's heart raced when he heard the news. He felt his instincts nudging him to apply for the role. "You believe in yourself now, Aiden?" he whispered to himself. All those moments of speaking up had prepared him for this chance. He needed to take the leap. As he made plans to apply, he reflected on everything he had learned during his journey. Aiden sat down that evening to write an application. He outlined his experience, emphasizing his role in building a positive team. He shared how he supported others and fostered a collaborative environment. With each word, he felt proud. This was who he had become. In describing his leadership style, Aiden recalled moments when he practiced patience and active listening. He emphasized how important it was to him that everyone felt valued. He added little details about extending invitations for team discussions, showing how he believed working together created stronger solutions. These reflections not only filled his application but also inspired him to push forward with his vision for the project. The next day, Aiden submitted his application and felt a wave of relief. He stepped away from his desk, and for the first time, he realized he was excited about what lay ahead. Rather than waiting anxiously, he started preparing for an interview. In the following weeks, Aiden practiced his interview skills with Camila, who enthusiastically offered to help. She held mock interviews, asking questions that made him think and reflect. "Just be yourself, Aiden. Share your visions," she encouraged. With her support, he felt ready to face questions head-on. When the interview day arrived, Aiden walked into the room ready to shine. His heart raced like it had at the start of this journey, but he also felt a warm comfort in the knowledge he had built. As he spoke about his vision for the project, he remembered that every challenge could be a chance to connect and create more. When he finished, he felt a hint of certainty that he had done well. Weeks later, Aiden received the best news. He was selected as the project leader. He couldn't contain the joy bubbling within him as he accepted the news. His hard work had paid off, and more importantly, he realized that he could face new challenges with courage. As leader, he introduced plans to endorse teamwork and open communication while implementing an engaging atmosphere. With a renewed sense of purpose, Aiden forged a bright path ahead. He not only cherished his role but also understood how much he had grown. Setting clear goals and putting self-care into practice made him more resilient. As he looked beyond the project, Aiden felt a spark of excitement about the future. The mindset he fostered wouldn't end here. it would ripple into all areas of his life. He couldn't wait to embrace success more fully, ready to connect and inspire others. With every step, Aiden knew he had the tools to build meaningful relationships. He had the power to create a positive impact. Looking forward, he never lost sight of the journey that shaped him. He was forever grateful for the changes he embraced. The future was bright, and Aiden felt ready to continue growing, learning, and loving life.